Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, honorable participants, and the loving audience and all beautiful people present here from all around the globe. I, Ms. Nada Ratkovic, IIU board member, country director, IIU Croatia, the president of Research Centre, IIU, Global Educators Forum advisor member. Welcome you all to the Global Conference on Cyber Law, Cybercrime, and Cybersecurity. Yes, the GEF 2022 event number 12, event for all the educators around the globe, jointly organized by Global Educators Forum, International Internship University, IIU Research Centre, the Policy Times, and World Education Council. Today, before we start our event, we need to say, end racism, build the peace. Each year, the International Day of Peace today is observed around the world on 21st September. The United Nations General Assembly has declared this day, and it is devoted for the ideals of peace through observing 24 hours of nonviolence and Christ fire. Our Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said, racism continues to poison institutions, social structures, and everyday life in every society. It continues to be a driver of persistent inequality, and it continues to deny people their fundamental human rights. It destabilizes societies, democracies, erodes the legitimacy of governments. So remember, never conflict. We need to continue to erupt across the globe, causing people to flee without the race-based discriminations and borders. We all have a role to play, the fostering peace, and tackling racism is a crucial way to contribute. We can work to dismantle the structure that enshrines racism in our minds. So this theme the Day of Peace is End Racism, Build a Peace. And it is inviting you all to have each day peace in heart and peace in the mind and in the world. Now, I'm pleased and honored to present our organizers. First Global Educators Forum, GEF, has been formed to promote United Nations 2030 Agenda, the SDG Goal 4, which is about quality education, and it needs to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. SDG 4 has targets. They are free primary and secondary education, equal access to quality pre-primary education, affordable technical, vocational, and higher education, increased number of people with relevant skills for financial success, elimination of all discrimination in education, universal literacy, numeracy, and education for sustainable development and global citizenship. The three means of achieving targets: build and upgrade inclusive and safe schools, expand higher education scholarships for developing countries, and increase the supply of qualified teachers in developing countries.
The light just blew. Blew.
Professor Ijeona, please, you need to be muted. My apologize. Professor Pradipta Mandal is the founder of Global Educators Forum, GEF. He is an electronics and telecommunication engineer, MT in electronics and communication engineering. He has 17 years plus teaching experience in approved degree engineering institute. Professor Mandal is a multiple global award winner, educator, and social activist. Yes, and today on these days, he is also celebrating this big day, and he is attached with more than 35 plus national international organizations. IIU, International Internship University, is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to provide better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. IIU is metamorphosing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional cost and providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses and internships to their e-learners across the globe, and with the help of its 1,000 plus global educators. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit Sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. The sky is the limit for his dedication and hard work. IIU has formed its 4 councils, namely Women Entrepreneurs Council, Student Development Council, Youth Development Council, Council of Educators. And the main objective behind the councils is provide support and every respect for the students, for the youth, for the women entrepreneurs, and for the educators. Be the change with IIU. Research Center, IIU. Research Center by IIU is a unique hub established and founded to provide research facilities. It is giving an opportunity to researchers, to authors, to educators, to students, to scholars across the globe, and enhances the research opportunities, academic excellence, real-world problem solving, knowledge creation, and dissemination. The high caliber global educators team is dedicated to it. So research at IIU Research Center is really careful consideration of study regarding a particular concern or problem using scientific methods. Me, Professor Nada Ratkovic, is a president of IIU Research Center, and I think if you have ever thought about how would be the world without education, research, science, innovation, technology, or any development or anything, then the IIU Research Center is the right place for you. So, World Education Council, VEC, is our next organizer, and it is a confederation to achieve global collaboration in education, leveraging digitization and achieving basic building blocks, access, capacity, equity, and quality education. The Council aims to outline practical additional plans to achieve extraordinary innovation, creative diversity, and collective empathy. The Policy Time is the world's first media on policy and development journalism and strategic and practical alliance of policy and business experts for policy and business connect, leading to prosperity through news, article writings, practical networking, events, business intelligence, research, and policy advocacy. Mr. Akram Hock is a founder editor of the Policy Times, and he's a director of the General of World Education Council. His long association with India's top business forums, FICC and CII, has not only provided him the opportunity to forge close ties with the business community, but also guided them to invest in overseas economic ventures. Today, let's learn together about cyber law, cyber crime, and cybersecurity. Today, explore diverse and gain international experience, skills, and knowledge. Let us see what is the role of cyber law. First, in the cybersecurity. What is cybersecurity? and what information and how protect the information and how to become that from today's post-pandemic world. Organizations, government, financial institutions, other entities are remaining constantly the cyber threat. Yes, it means cyber attacks. They are really executed by cyber criminals, and we know that we have cyber criminals who are getting more sophisticated with each passing day. Thereby, they are increasing the risk of any major cybersecurity breach. And today, it becomes indispensable for organizations and to understand about these laws, cyber laws, and legal norms of cybersecurity. So I will not talk a lot about this because we will learn today a lot about the cyber laws because they are providing the legal protection. We know that the internet users today against a multitude of complexities are legal issues. And what is the role of cyber laws? That the answer will get our experts. Yes, it is serving a variety of purpose, crucial usage of the internet. We all maybe or will become a victim of the cyber crime. So we have a lot of things to learn about the fraud, about the copyright. What is the copyright? We know that it is a legal area and how it is defended, and what are the rights, and what is the entity, and what is the individual company, and what are the company doing for the profit about defamation laws, and what are the advantages of cyber laws, and how can we protect the business and employee information that is really necessary for us and for me, for an educator also. How can I protect my data? And what I need to use for my data, and what are the time, and what are the threats can affect me as an internet user, how to keep that information safe because it is really necessary for me and for all of us. So let's see. Let's see. Today, each speaker will be the representative of his country. He will share his actual, factual insights about cyber law, cyber crime, cyber security. And today, be ready with us. Be ready to be a part of today's conference. Meet our great experts and learn today with us. I welcome our great guest speakers of the day, our renowned speakers from different countries. Today, me, Professor Nada, the coach, is hosting, and today I'm with you. So it's my pleasure to call our first eminent expert, a great speaker, COL Inderjit Singh. He is a Chief Cybersecurity Officer from Vera Technology, founder from iSafe, Personal Safety, Executive Council, found member of the Society for Data Science, Executive Council member of the TAIET, Carriageburg, Executive Council member for Electronics for Telecommunication, Fellow of the Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, member of the Computer Society of India. He is coming from the amazing country of India. And yes, you will all hear today because he's an expert and you know he's coming from the military and we all know what is the association to us for a military. He has a strategy. He has a strategy because he's coming from the military and he has a big knowledge. So welcome, great Sir Singh. The IIU stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, IIU. It's really wonderful and wonderful opening speech what you gave, and it's pleasure to be here today. And the wonderful topic today on the cyber crime, cyber laws, and the cyber threats which are there. And I'm going to be primarily going to be focusing on the rising trends in the cybercrime. I hope you can see my slides. So I
Uh,
will quickly cover 15 minutes. Please stop me if I overshoot the time.
no, no, no,
Because
no.
cyber is
No. We will not stop you because you are a really expert from this field, and we really want to learn.
right. It's always a pleasure. Right. So, the way the cyber security is happening and where the cyber crimes are happening, just to tell you, every 11 seconds, there is an attack. While we are talking, there's one ransomware attack. Okay. And there is a prediction by 2030, every 2 seconds, we're going to have a ransomware attack. So you can imagine the kind of cyber threats, cyber attacks, which are there, the cyber crimes. It's really growing phenomenon. And why it's growing phenomenal? Because there's money attached to it. And the money, that too in Bitcoins. So it's a win-win situation for hackers today. And you can see that so much of ransomware attacks happened in 2021. We are already seeing 2022. It's really gone up, the cyber attacks. And what is real point of concern that every time there's a cyber attack or a ransomware attack, the companies are out of business for quite some time, right? And it's at an average, it's around 23 days when we are seen, and the businesses are out. They are not able to perform the business, and they have a fear of data being sold in the darknet, right? And if they don't pay, and it's a situation where we really have to think whether we pay or whether we don't pay. And if we are thinking not to pay, we should better have the backups to safeguard. So these are the numbers which are really very alarming. And the situation is such where we say that either we are already being attacked or we are going to be attacked by the cyber attack, right? So that is how the cyber crime ecosystem is today. And each time whenever you have an attack, there's a money which is spent to remediate or mitigate the complete cyber attack. So that's also huge. It's 1.85 million. And each attack, they were charging around $130,000. Now this quarter, it's come down to almost $896,000. So that's how it really working it out. So when we look at the cyberspace is really very growing. And we just use the word cyber and just see how big this cyber space has become. It's all blurry. There's no boundaries, and there are no gaps. There are no, kind of legal boundaries between any countries today. And the way the cyberspace is, we talk of the cyber crime, we talk of cyber commerce, we talk of cyber espionage, we talk of cyber law, we talk of cyber stalking, bullying, cyber war. We already seeing the cyber war as part of the hybrid war, which is already there between Russia and Ukraine. That's a real live example. That means what we have in the future is already we are seeing between Russia and Ukraine, and that's very live, that's very happening, and that's a real point of concern for everyone. So the cyber as a word has become really very big, starting from a normal cyber crime which happens on an individual to a cyber attack or a cyber terrorism or a cyber war. Just imagine the situation, right? And that's what we will dwell upon in our slides. And in the world of cyber, we are aware of the threats. We know that there's identity threats, APTs, the espionage, there are transnational threats which are there. There are terrorisms which already seeing the cyber terrorism is really growing. ISIS has an arm which only works in the dark web, right? That's a very real and happening. And then we have the APTs, the countries sponsored or the nation state actors who are playing the APTs to bring down the other networks in the other countries. And who are the targets? Individual, of course, one is a target, but if you look at the target scenario, it's equally very concerning. And just look at it, starting from your aerospace, your banking, your healthcare. And we saw attacks on the healthcare during the pandemic, your insurance sector, your manufacturing, your oil and gas. There's so many cyber attacks on the oil and gas. There's a power grid attacks, which are already, we are seeing it. Attack on the telecommunication system. Universities and colleges are also being attacked. We are seeing that happening as well a couple of years. So if you look at it, there are 16 critical information infrastructure that have been identified, right, by any country. And that's where we are really looking in for safeguarding those critical infrastructure, because those are the targets which all the criminals, the hackers, or even a lone wolf is really targeting at. And really, we need to work out on the counters, starting from creating a workforce, because skill development is the most important to the dynamic situational awareness, your forensics, your open source intelligence, cryptocurrency forensics, your darknet forensics, because most of the hackers or the criminals or the terrorists, they're all in the dark web, right? We need to, or the drug peddlers for that matter, they're all in the dark web. We need to really tighten our news on the dark web, right? And also on the cryptocurrency forensics, we need to have a kind of understanding between different countries on the cyber laws. And it's a very point of real concern, because each country does have some kind of a cyber laws, but they are not talking to each other. They don't really communicate on a single platform where we can bring all the countries together and talk to them. So that's where the hackers are really taking the advantage of these kind of problems, and we need to have a very expanded diplomacy and legislations between the countries to work together to fight the cyber criminals together, because it's not a single country's problem right now. Okay, it's a transnational problem. And if you remember, 2021, before the Ukraine and the Russia war, during the G7 summit, Biden had personally spoken to Putin on telling him that you need to stop the ransomware attacks and the other attacks on America. That's the kind of situation where the cyber attack discussion or the cyber discussion is coming to the forefront of the discussions, of the national heads, right? And you should assume that your information networks are already being hacked or they're already been compromised. So there's no escape from it. And just imagine, I just want to throw some scenarios in front of you, how critical it is today for us. So just imagine an air traffic controller tower or your airline infrastructure is hacked into, okay? And also your complete system where you see the flight timings, it's hacked. What will you do? There's going to be a commotion. Recently, just 15 days back, somebody hacked into one of the Yandex, it's a kind of Uber in Russia. And suddenly what happened at 10:30, 11 in the morning, all the cabs in Russia, Moscow, started moving to one location called, Hotel Ukraine. And you can imagine what mess it would have been. And that was a hack attack. And it was being done and it happened. And just imagine your banking system coming down, crippling, your stock exchanges being hit by cyber attack, right? And the bombs and explosive could be set off by remote from the mobiles, your networks. Hospitals could lose their information. And just imagine one thing, this is very interesting, that hospitals have become a new IT sector of our system now, because the amount of IT networks which are there today, it's very difficult to manage them totally. So, and they're all vulnerable, right? And somebody can tamper with your water systems, change the sodium level, and it becomes a kind of a chemical. What will happen? Your electricity goes in the city for days together. What happens? These are the kind of scenarios which are there, and this is all reality. There's no kind of a hallucination. And just imagine the critical infrastructure. These are the targets for the cyber criminals or the nation state actors. They want to bring down your power dams from where the generation of your power happens. And if they're able to control the complete, dam gates, they can flood the city. They can flood anything which is there, or stop the complete, the kind of machinery which is there in the network. Also, your power grids, they can be brought down. You can be off the power in the stark winter in any of Europe or so. This is all reality, right? And these are the kind of SCADA systems. This is what they want to control. Okay, this is something on the OT networks, as operational technology networks, and they are looking in for controlling these networks altogether, right? And it's they try. We already seen an attack in 2009 called Stuxnet, which was able to take control of nuclear power plant in Iran, and it stopped the. So the trends which we are seeing in 2022 are the ransomware attack, which I told you it's really growing. There is an increase in the business email compromise. It's huge because you have the emails. And just remember, each attack which starts today actually starts from one click. And that's what you are doing it. Anyone in your company can do it. Maybe the owner of the company, or maybe the last man in the company. So it can be done by anyone. So it doesn't really, look at where the mail is going, and it goes to a social engineering. It's a very well-planned attack that way. Mobile malwares are really growing. You have the mobile phones, and just imagine, do you have an anti-malware system in your mobile? I would say the answer would be a big no. But just imagine, you're doing your banking from here. You're putting all your credit cards data. You're punching in through your Flipkart, your Amazon, and paying through cards, saving the cards onto it, right? Your OTP is coming in. Somebody can put a keylogger. Somebody can put a malware into it and take record of everything what you're doing. It's a real problem. Your AI and IoT in the cybercrime, the IoT systems, you've got so many sensors which are all across in your city, in your house. Just imagine you have a fridge, or suddenly a fridge is on an internet and starts misbehaving. What are you going to do? You have a geyser which is connected to internet. It's an IoT device, and it boils the temperature beyond 100 degrees centigrade, which you're going to take bath with. What are you going to do? You didn't plan for it, but somebody hacked into your system. Somebody can hack into the complete IoT network of your system. And also, like, we have lots and lots of CCTV cameras in our house. How secure are they? Can a hacker can't get into your network and see what you're doing? Your smart TVs, they have a camera on top. If hacked, your private movements can be all caught, and that's all possible. Right? Then you have the data breaches really very happening. Crypto jacking is one very interesting. Like, most of us do have machines which primarily we use it very minimal as regards the resources concerned, your RAM and your processor and your hard disk. I can put a malware, and that malware would function in a manner that it will, do a mining for me. Okay, and it will be doing in mining in your machine, and you are still unaware of it, and he'll be earning the Bitcoins or any of the cryptocurrencies. Then pandemic-related phishing is still on in some areas. You have the Bitcoin popularity, the Ponzi schemes which are there, the Bitcoin attacks are there. Your private wallets are being hacked into if you have one. DDoS attack. Your Wi-Fi's can be hit by a DDoS attack. Your networks can be hit by a DDoS attack. Your social engineering, and this is an area where you may be going to a holiday, putting all your photographs, right? And then you're changing your job. I as a hacker will actually get into the knowing about you, which company are you in, what's your domain, and the details, who's your boss, and send you a mail which is very customized to your organization and make you click, right? So these are kind of attacks which are already trending. Then whole lot of these are all the technical sides. I'll not develop on that. Then you have the web attacks. You have the phishing attacks. Just imagine you have a site. You find a site which comes up, and it is there only for 15 minutes. A spurious site of your company comes up. People punch in data, their credentials, and you don't even come to know. And that's how it comes up. So the spurious phishing sites is a major thing which is there today, right? Then you have your malware attacks, your Trojan horses, your insider threats. That's again a problem. Your guys in the company itself do steal a lot of data, pumping it to all the Google Drives, and uploading it or taking through pen drives. Your password attacks, your cross-site scripting, your skimming, your botnets, all those kind of things which are very much happening today while we are talking. So what are the consequences of the cyber attack? One is the financial loss to a person, and that's very eminent of the attack. Legal repercussions are also there, because when you land up into these kind of attacks, you really need to have the right kind of inputs to be given to the law enforcement agencies, right? Loss of reputation and competitive edge, because if you're a big company, you had a kind of a ransomware attack, it really hits on your reputation, right? And believe you me, it really damages quite a bit, right? And all your sensitive, confidential information, which is there all in open on the darknet, and they're all selling it, and somebody buys it, he can play against you. So these are the kind of attacks which are coming up, like we talk, the technologies which are coming up. There's a cloud, we talk of AI, we talk of machine learning, we talk of IoT, we talk of blockchain, but they all come with a portion, or the metaverse, in fact, and we've seen, rape in a metaverse happening, right? So all these technologies, when they are coming in, they are coming with some kind of a cyber attacks or the crimes which are associated with it. So we have the IoT attacks, we have the cloud attacks which are there, we have the blockchain or the cryptocurrency attacks which we are seeing it, AI attacks which are there. And in tomorrow, what's going to happen is the attacks are not going to be machine to machine kind of what we see today, or you have antivirus to overcome any attack. It's going to be AI versus AI. That means you are going to be attacked by AI, ransomware or a malware which you're not able to detect, and you have a AI based software which will use it to overcome it, right? So that's again a thing. And then you have a challenges of hardware and hardware vulnerabilities which are there, your software vulnerabilities, you're not patching your systems. Those kind of vulnerabilities are all kind of a big challenge in cybersecurity, and more so all the firewalls what we have in the companies today, all the CVEs, the vulnerabilities which are there, they're all listed on their sites. That is what the hackers go and find it out and try to attack you, because you would have not updated your firewall for that matter, right? This is what is the overall kind of scenario. Then we have the machine-to-machine learning, power grid. So it's the list is really huge. Okay, so that's how you really work it out, and I'll move ahead. So then the connected cars, we're talking of the driverless cars. But at the same time, just imagine you're driving at 100 miles an hour, and you suddenly come to a brakes are on, and you don't know what's happened, and suddenly your complete system is put to halt. And just imagine you can't do anything because your system is hacked remotely by someone, because you're connected through satellite, you're connected through radios, 4G, 5G. We are anything can happen that. So because it's sending all the information about your infotainment system, your telematics, your connectivity, your vehicle speed, all the sensors, the road kind of situations which are there. So the vehicle attack surface is going to be really very huge. I'm just touching on some of the cases. There are n number of the cases which are similar to this. Yeah, as a template, just giving it to you as a view. Similarly, we are going to face a problem of deepfakes, right? And what you're seeing today on this viewfoil, they're all good-looking pictures, but unfortunately, none of the person exists. They are being generated using, AI algorithm called GAN, and these are the people who never existed, and they can be used against you, right? And these are called the deep fakes, can play a major havoc when it's being, they are being used, and they can be used as a tool of crime. And especially when we talk of the metaverse, and we talk of avatars, deep fakes play a major role when, they're going to do the identity thefts, right? So this is what we are seeing already. Now we have the smart cities. All our cities are smart. The traffic is smart. Your lighting is smart. Your roads are smart. You're monitoring everyone. Your law enforcement guys are there. Your cameras everywhere. And one small mistake by a person, right? And just see, this is the situation what we're going to be in. Because anybody can hack into your networks, and your complete city can come to a grinding halt. And this is reality, right? Because all the IoT sensors, what we are connecting, they are having vulnerabilities, and these vulnerabilities can be exploited. The vulnerabilities is life cycle management, your updation, your hardware updation, your hardware vulnerabilities, your updation of your patches. That's a problem. Like you have a sensor has got a life, but what happens when sensor is not working, but it's still live on your networks? You didn't bother because it's still there. You don't have the time to go and remove it from the network. but it's there. And that's how the hackers really looking for those kind of devices. You would have replaced it with other one. And that's a vulnerability which is there, right? Then what you have, any cyber attack, whenever it happens, you have an opportunity of only 10 minutes to actually find out that there's an attack which has happened. If you're not being able to find out within the first 10 minutes of the attack which has happened, it will lie dormant. It will actually attack you in the time frame or what it was supposed to do, the malware. And the worst case is you will only able to find out that malware or a data breach only after 246 to 48 days at an average, right? So you have a window of opportunity from initial attack to initial compromise of only 10 minutes. And the initial compromise to discovery is in months and weeks and years together. That's the situation we are going to be in, right? And whenever you have an attack, there are only three things which you have. There's a complete, life cycle of the attack, from initial access to, the execution, to privilege management, to escalation, to credential access, to discovery. And then the hacker actually moves laterally and he collects the data and opens up a command and control. Here, I forgot to tell you, any attack which is happening today, it's just not a code which is coming into your network. It's a person who's running a profit and loss business. He's running a command and control and seeing actually what is happening in your network. And he's controlling everything if he's able to get into your network. And that is what he opens up, a command and control channel. Okay. And they have, like I told you, it's a profit and loss business. That means they're running it like a business. They have got a HR, they have got a coders, they have got a negotiators, they got a planners, they got, strategy guys, everything which is there, they are working in that manner, right? And you only can be safeguard if you're able to, like I told you, investigate within 10 minutes, detect within 1 minute, and respond within 60 minutes. It's a survival of the fittest. If you're able to do it, you are able to overcome the cyber attacks which are happening on your network. But one mantra which is very important, right, to protect your data is, or any ransomware attack, because ransomware attack is definitely going to happen on you. Okay. And you can follow a strategy called 3-2-1. That means have 3 copies of your data, 2 on different media, and 1 copy offsite. And if you follow the 3-2-1 strategy, you can be safeguard against any, or you can protect yourself against any ransomware attack. Even if it happens, you can just format the machines and start working and don't have to pay the ransomware. So these are some of the strategies at the strategic level, at the technical level, which you should try and follow. You have to have very specific business continuity plan for the cybersecurity itself, at a company level, organization level, at a country level, where you talk about strategy. You have to have cyber risk management. We talk about risk management, but with the cyber risk management, your disaster recovery plan for the cyber attacks, your incident response plan for the cyber attack. Are your people ready for any cyber attack? Have you done a tabletop exercise? Putting a strategy to the ground implementation is very important. The cyber resilience is a major topic or concern today. We should really work it out. And at a tactical level, we should have enough VPNs if we are going to land up in a situation like COVID again, remote data access policy. And just telling you one thing, while we went in for the COVID, and everybody started working from home, now we're seeing people coming back. The one thing which has not come back, the people who may have come back, the one thing which has not come back is the data of the companies, right? They're coming without the data, because whatever data was being used by them would have been some form or the other gone. It's not with you anymore. It's a myth if you're thinking that your employees didn't misuse it or they used it, right? So that's the key to the kind of situation what we are. And some of the best practices one can follow is, have a multi-factor authentication, have 2-factor authentication, have invest in the backups, going for zero trust, DLP solutions, data classification solutions, going for SOC, SOAR, XDRs, and all. These are all the technologies which are really doing pretty good today. Have a defined IT policy for yourselves, the social media policy for your organization, and moving to a cloud could be one of the good options. And the data privacy is the key for users who are accessing the confidential data. So that's really very important. So thank you very much for a very patient listening. And it's a really pleasure to share my thoughts. And over to you. If you need to connect up, please, this my number and email is there. I would love to connect on LinkedIn and be connected. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, great Professor Singh. An amazing presentation, amazing speech on the rising trends, cyber crimes, and cyber attacks. What to say? We learn a lot. You start from the statistics, from the numbers. The numbers are showing what is the demand to the date, how are the prediction, what are the damages, and so how looks the world of the cyberspace? What are the threats? What are the targets? And what are the counters? There are so many threats around us, and you explain each one and the targets and all of this covers. So how today and how the cyber attacks affects us and our future? And each one field. You said banking, you said the hospitals, you say the learning, you say the air traffic. And for me, really important because I didn't, for this kind of the trends, like trends of 2022, I put there here on to me on the paper, and also we will have this video, but I remember for me very interesting this cyber activism, and for AI and Internet of the Things in the cyber crime, that part in the very interesting trend in these cyber crimes, and all the challenges you explain us, all the challenges in very short time, how it is connected with the vehicle of the car, how to recognize the fake pictures, and what today AI is doing, the best practices of following this, how to use the data privacies. So I can talk today whole day on this what you say. Thank you very
Thank
much
you very
for
much.
this amazing speech and presentation. And yes, in this short time we learn a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, from our great professor, we are moving. We are still in India, but we have a woman, a Dr. Pallavi Prakash. She's a founder and chairman of the Knowledge Seed Learning Center, Pallavi Prakash International Productions. She's an author, she's an international speaker, she's a senior life coach, she's a clinical psychologist, she's a filmmaker, and she's a TV panelists. Welcome, Dr. Pallavi Prakash, and enlighten us with your speech. What a woman have to say on this topic?
Absolutely.
Yes, a woman we need here. I'm so proud on you, Dr. Pallavi.
Thank you so much. Greetings to everybody. What a lovely day to be sitting with esteemed panelists, and I'm really honored to be sharing my bite of wisdom today, representing my country on this very topical and very sensitive topic. So thank you, my beautiful host, Professor Nada, and thank you, IIU, World Educators Forum, the Policy Times, and all the collaborators for inviting me here today in this, I would say, a very important and topical international conference. So greetings to everybody. Now, as you can see that I'm coming from a background which is a little different, right? I'm basically a creative person. I'm an international speaker, I'm a filmmaker, I'm author, and of course, I'm a TV panelist too. So I would take up this topic from a totally different perspective, right? Because I was just hearing my co-panelist, Dr. Indrajit Singh, and he has already spoken about the, techie part, the types of cybercrime and what's happening exactly, the rising trends, and how do we combat it, right? So I would be talking something different today as an international speaker, right? So as per me, the entire world, it's a global abode and we are global citizens, isn't it? I'm sure all of you agree. And I would start my speech in a way that the world is not dangerous because of those who do harm, but because of those who look at it without doing absolutely nothing. So if you just sit back and relax and let the world be harmed by any kind of cyber attacks or physical attacks or atrocities, then we would be more harmful. I'm sure all my esteemed panelists they agree with me. So I'm going to take this topic in a totally different perspective. I'm going to be more on the security part. That yes, the cybercrime is rising by leaps and bounds. Yes, the world is engrossed by the misuse of technology since ages. But what are we doing to it? What are we doing to protect our world, our beautiful heritage? So I would be sharing my thought process from something around 30 years of global experience, which I have talking on various seminars and conferences all around the world. So I hope that this would be fruitful for you, and this would shower a different light altogether on this topic, right? So as a time, people nowadays mostly used, and technology has advanced by leaps and bounds. And that is a normal phenomena which every Homo sapien has witnessed all through the various decades. And the use and the misuse of technology has also grown by leaps and bounds. Cyber world is known for its unlimited space and boundaries. Talk about cyber world, it is one of the most violated area that we are facing it in today's world. So from a women's point of view, that I would be dealing this topic, as Professor Nada also said, that she is happy that a woman has been asked to speak about the topic. So I would be sharing my ocean of knowledge on this. Number one, I would be sharing 11 commandments or 11 pillars of how you can actually make yourself safe from the cyber attacks, how you can mitigate, or you can say minimize the cyber attacks or the cyber crime which is happening on various nations. You talk about UK, you talk about Australia, you talk about our country, India. Cyber crime is an umbrella crime. It's a blanket crime. It's progressing by leaps and bounds. So we need to protect ourselves individually before expecting the government, which government is doing their bit, right? There are rules and regulations, there are laws, but we need to do our bit. And that's exactly what I'm going to share today. Each and every individual who is listening to me through this program, especially youth, I'm known for motivating youth. So I'm sure that you would be picking up the 11 commandments, the 11 basics, which I'm going to share to make yourself safe from the cyber attack. All right. So let's see, what are these? Number one, that you need to protect yourself from the cyber crime. So how do we do that? First and foremost, use a full service internet security suite. That's the most important one. Do not keep, rushing that idea that, yes, I do not have to upgrade. Use a Norton 360-degree like LifeLock Select, which is the latest one. So use a full service internet security suite. That's very important. Use strong passwords. Here, most of us, we think that we are smart in picking up passwords, but actually that's not the case. Hackers are smarter. So we need to be a step ahead. So we need to be very, very proactive in thinking about imaginative passwords, which do not in any way give a hint on the personal details, like parents' name or date of birth or pet's name, school name, high school degree place, etc., etc. So you have to be very, very careful on that. Do not give hint yourself to the hackers. Number three, keep your softwares updated, my dear friends. That's very important. We are so busy in the professional endeavors that we forget to actually ask our staff to check all the softwares which are in our office on our systems. So this is pretty important. Leave all the work aside, and periodically there should be a software updation system. Cyber criminals frequently use these exploits or gaps. This is the gap analysis to gain access to your system. Fourth one, manage your social media settings, which is called social engineering, which is a new term, definitely, but social engineering is absolutely pertinent in today's world, especially coming from, when I see as a lady, as in, from my perspective. So there has been so many cases where, we have been asked as a clinical psychologist also help in dealing with cyber criminals or cyber crime, which has breached social engineering deadlock. Absolutely. So cyber criminals can often get your personal information with just a few data points. Mark it. So the less you share publicly, the better. We have to be, very, very careful about what we use in social media. Social media management is a big, I think it's one of the most important, I think, chapter which has to be taken up. Most of the people around the globe, they do not know how to use the social media. So you have to be very careful that what you post, what you do not post, your privacy settings, and what exactly should be made open in the public domain. Number 5 is strengthen your home network. We are doing it for an office. Do not forget your home, because hackers, they mostly hack through your home VPN systems. A VPN will encrypt all traffic leaving your devices until it arrives at its destination. So if cyber criminals do manage to hack your communication line, they won't intercept anything but encrypted data. So it's a good idea to use a VPN whenever you are in public Wi-Fi network also. That's an advice from my side. Number 6, this is pretty important. Talk to your children. Talk to senior citizens. Talk to people who are not trained enough, in the use of internet, in the use of the cyber world wisely. Because children are the most vulnerable, targets for these cyber criminals, as all of us know. So you have to teach your kids about acceptable use of the internet without shutting down the communication channels. Make sure they know that they can come to you if they are experiencing any kind of online bullying, harassment, stalking, or any kind of bullying. 7th, keep up to date on major security breaches. This is very, very important. If you do business, or you are, even if in the service class, then you have an account on website that has been impacted by a security breach, find out what information the hackers accessed. Do not just, sit that, okay, fine, it happened last time, I've updated my system, it will not happen again. No, just go and find out what was the breach, what was the security gap which was breached, right? So 8, take measures to help protect yourself against identity theft. And identity theft is a new term which occurs when someone wrongfully, obtains your personal data in a way that involves fraud or deception, typically for economic gain. How? Well, let's see. You might be tricked into giving personal information over internet. For instance, a thief might steal your mail to access account information. So these things are pretty common, as all of us know. So you have to be very, very careful about protecting against identity theft. Know that identity theft can happen anywhere and everywhere. Please do not be under this misconception, it cannot happen to me. It will not happen to my near and dear ones. It can happen anywhere and everywhere around the globe. Now, keep an eye on the kids, as I mentioned. Last but not the least, know what to do if you become a victim. That's very important. See, You do not have to, procrastinate yourself. If you believe that you have become a victim of cybercrime, you need to alert the local authorities. In India, we have an IT cell, right? And all around the various countries, we have different departments who cater to cybercrime. So do not sit. Immediately within 24 hours, it is said that report the crime so that action can be taken. Now, these are the 11 commandments you need to follow to protect yourself from, cybercrime. Now, as an international motivational speaker, I cannot stop here because these are, technical part. Now, I'm adding my bit of knowledge by permission of the esteemed panel, that what can you do, So I'm giving a code word today. Smile, SMILE. Please listen carefully. When I was addressing an international conference last week, so that was a physical conference college. So they asked me, what is the smile, ma'am? I said, smile can really bring a smile on your face if you follow this. So I'm giving a code word to protect yourself from cybercrime, that is smile. What is it? Let us take a look. S stands for size up or measure up your real-time security system. Are your security system on your network, whether home or office, they are up to date? Measure up, size up, give a realistic opinion, and then make a note of it. Number 2, M. M stands for mitigate any probable attacks by being proactive with your security softwares. You have to be proactive. So only this way we can mitigate any probable attacks, right? I is initiate dialogue with children, senior citizens, and users who needs to be trained. Keep the communication channel open. L, learn from your past mistakes. If you have been a victim of cybercrime, rectify the gap which was the reason of any previous cyber attack. Do not sit back and relax that you have updated your system. No, it can happen again, as I said. So you need to identify the gap and rectify it immediately. Last but not the least, E. E is elevate your knowledge constantly on new cyber trends and security, which is very important to keep yourself updated. What's happening on the globe and what's exactly we are, we should protect ourselves. As a woman, I've seen various kind of, crime, cybercrime happening to many of my peers, many of my fellow, you can say friends, professionals. So after, analyzing, I think around 20-25 cases as a clinical psychologist also, the analysis which I've gathered, because you specially asked as a woman, so I'm adding my, end note as a woman, as a lady, what take I have on this topic. If we are careful, we cannot definitely, we have to be very proactive on what data we use. We have to be very, very sensitive on what kind of information we are using on internet. So besides, if we cannot do anything for the to mitigate the cybercrime, at least we can lower the possibility of getting, being one of the victims. That's my advice and take. And on this positive note, I'll not take long because there are so many speakers, lined up. So just remember the smile word, which will, I'm sure, which will bring a smile on your faces. And thank you so much once again for inviting me here today. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dear great Dr. Pallavi. An amazing speech from a woman in this field. Great 11 pillars. You explained each one. Thank you. And I really like this smile. I think that each one person needs to remember this smile. So if you don't remember, please subscribe our official Facebook page and listen this, because this is very, very important. Thank you, Dr. Pallavi. Now from
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Now from India, we are moving to South Africa. With us today is great Professor Dr. Ambassador Mihran Mia. She is an educator, she is a leader, she's a social activist, she's an international speaker, and she's ambassador on many global platforms. And she is a great woman and my friend also. Welcome, Professor Dr. Miha.
Thank you so much, Professor Nada, and to all of the speakers. It's always lovely seeing you, Nada, and to share the platform, all these wonderful speakers. I do apologize, but you will not be seeing a video as I am still on a drip and in recovery, but I'm trying to get this message across because this is a huge and very passionate topic. Cybercrime and what we're discussing today, I must say, firstly, thank you to the speakers who spoke before. They pointed out stuff that's really, really crucial and important. But why is it so important for me is because I myself was a victim twice. And the sad thing is, no matter how much you know, no matter how many of the tactics you follow, how many of the different methods you try to use to safeguard you and yourself, somehow, the more you try to prevent it from happening to you, somehow a hacker benefits and finds a better way to get through. So we need to always make sure that we are updated with what exactly these things mean, what exactly is out there, and what exactly are the new methods that the cyber criminals can be using to hurt us. And when I say us, because it is each one of us, no one is an exception to the rule. The cybercrime we know is really, really a vastly growing issue in the world today, especially of technology. And criminals of the world really exploit all of us because each one of us relies so much on the internet as users, especially with our personal information, but they use it for their own gain. And the crucial part is, no matter, sometimes you will be giving no private information to any of the websites, yet somehow it is hacked through. That hacking method, I think our first brother who spoke about was telling us a little bit more about, and I really appreciate what he said. We need to remember that this is costing though companies and even individuals millions sometimes. It's costing companies to close down sometimes, purely because hackers are able to get into this. But before I go any further, let us always break things down. What exactly is this cyber crime? If we have to look at just that word, it is the crime of the cyber world, the criminals of the cyber world. What exactly does that activity entail? And that is purely defined as a crime where the computer is the object of the crime or is used as the tool to commit an offense. So basically what I'm trying to say is cybercrimes can generally be divided into two categories. You have the crimes that target a network or a specific device, for example, a virus that can attack your device. Alternatively, you can have cybercrimes where it's a crime that is using a specific device to participate in a criminal activity. So, for example, you'd have the identity theft, which our sister spoke on just now, or you would have something like cyber stalking, which is what I've experienced personally. Now, the categories of cybercrime are crucial for us to really understand. And I'll break it down very quickly because I do know we have the time constraints. So there are three major categories. And the first one is the property category. And here it's very similar to a lifestyle experience of, for example, a criminal illegally having your banking card, or where a hacker can just steal your banking details and start to access your funds. So that's where the property category comes in. Your second category is the individual category. That is where, for example, that applied to me personally in my personal capacity. And this category of cybercrime involves when an individual distributes malicious, and I say malicious or even illegal information online about you. It can be cyber stalking, or they can be distributing info about you that is lies. They make up posters about you and they post it all over social media, stuff like that. So that is the category that is individual. The third category of cybercrime is the governmental one. Here we don't hear too much about it. I'm not sure why yet. I think we need to hear more. But It's the least common cybercrime, but yet is the most serious one. Because here, remember, the crime is against entire governments and their organizations. And most often this is known as the cyber terrorism. And government cyber crimes includes, for example, where you hack into the government websites, the military websites, or how you can distribute propaganda about different forms of what the government's trying to do. Now, our speakers before this spoke about the different types of cyber crimes. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I would like to just speak a little bit on what exactly it means when we talk about cyber stalking. And that's because it can affect you in the worst way, in every way, mentally, physically, emotionally. You can be the most empowered woman, you can be the most prominent business person, but if they are able to cyber stalk you to the point of actual harassment online, and if you have people online that do not really know you personally, but are your followers and tend to believe what the hackers or the stalkers are putting up online, that can make your life miserable. And the pickup after that is actually very, very difficult, because remember, you are actually defending a lie. You're trying to prove to people that what is being said about me is not true. This is the true me. How do you do that? How do you do that on social media? Social media has followers that people follow you purely because they love what you say. They love what you do. They love how you speak. They love the messages you get. You alter people's lives because of what you are doing. And yet you will have somebody who will stalk you, who will create things about you that will be false about you. And then you will have followers that would rather listen to the gossip structure. Instead of clarifying before they comment on a social media page, they will just believe. And that becomes torment. And we need to really start to think better, think more clearly before we type comments on social media about what we hear, about what we see, especially when it's propaganda, especially when it's wrong. Typically, cyber stalkers use social media, they use websites, and of course, pardon me, they use all of these different search engines, to intimidate you as the user. They instill fear in you where you're scared to even go back onto your social pages. So we need to really know that usually these cyber stalkers know the victims. And I say that openly, purely because when I reported this here in my country to our legal authorities, the saddest thing for me was to find out that the people responsible were people I knew. It was not just a follower who was following me from across the country or across the world. It was somebody that I knew who was responsible for getting people to do this to me. So none of us are exempt from any form of cybercrime. We need to be very aware. We need to be very conscious. And this is why I will end off here quickly by merely talking about how I think we can fight cybercrime. And it seems, of course, like, in this modern age of technology, these hackers seem to be taking over all our systems. And like I said, not one of us is safe. The average time, or the time that it takes for us to even detect a cyber breach sometimes can be between 100 to 200 days. And by then, how much of damage is already done? So this leaves many of us just susceptible to cybercrime, and it's important to really become more informed, become more aware of what exactly this means. How does it affect you? Educate yourself and educate those around you. Like the sister said before me, educate your children, have these discussions, have more of these webinars and conferences, because all of us don't know everything. Let us educate ourselves and others on the preventative measures that we can take in order to protect ourselves as individuals and even protect our businesses. So just a few quick things that I can think of is become more vigilant when you're browsing websites. Websites are the go-to space for anything and any answer. But be careful and be vigilant when browsing these websites and seeing where you're getting your answers from. The other thing that I'd like to talk about is to flag and report suspicious emails or suspicious activity at all. Do not be scared to actually report it to a reporting line, because that's crucial. If you find an unfamiliar link or an ad that comes up, please do not click on it, because sometimes that's just a means to be able to access you or your device. be a little bit more vigilant. Again, it's about awareness and educating yourself. Like the sister spoke about the VPN, it's wherever you can, try and please use a VPN number whenever is possible. And when you are using the websites that you need to use, even when your kids are using websites, please ensure that these websites are safe before you actually enter any credential you might need to. Antivirus application systems are all over the place. Every time you go into somewhere, it says, let's update your antivirus, let's update the application. Try and keep your systems up to date, because sometimes when you don't, that's also easier access for your hacker. Most importantly are your passwords. When you are developing your password, do not use what you think the person may know about you. Don't use your children's name. Don't use your children's dates of birth. Don't use your own birth date, your parents, your pet name, etc. Try and use maximum characters, different types of characters, and strong passwords. These are just small little ways that I have found that might work. I know that there are many others who are more, far more professional in these fields who can give us a lot more. And that will be obviously in the more speakers to come. So thank you again, Professor Nader. Thank you so much for allowing me this talk. Thank you, IIU, and to all of the organizers. Let us just wish each other well and keep safe throughout the world. And thank you so much to all the speakers. It was an honor to share the platform with everybody today.
Thank you. A big clap to our great Professor Mia. We are really sorry to hear that you were a victim twice. I think that I remember the last time it was before, I think 5-6 months, you were hacked also. So yes, all these instructions, all this knowledge is really important for us. And as you said, we need to learn more about this, especially our students who are surfing in each 1 second they are online. So thank you very much. Now, from South Africa, we are going to United Arabian Emirates. We have again an amazing speaker, amazing woman, Miss Chandani Kinger. She's a teacher, she's an international speaker, and she's ambassador of many global platforms. And after this speech today, she will join me again to another conference. Welcome.
I'll just quickly share my screen.
Good evening. Yes, you are sharing. Let's see.
Okay, I hope it's visible now.
Yes, great.
Yes. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to one and all. It is again a great pleasure to be here with everyone else. Today, I'll be just talking about or giving a review about how cybercrime and how the cybersecurity plays a major role when we talk about the globe. And this is the area, as eminent speakers have already said, that it's not something that is not relevant to only a few people, but it's always affected with many of the people, or maybe most of us. We might have experienced these things, and we might have already seen that how things goes with us when we talk about the cybersecurity, when we talk about the cyber laws, and to protect or to make the world the safest place, and specifically in terms of online platforms or in terms of the online the apps or the applications that we're using. And also all over the world, when we talk about the safety, it always becomes necessary that we have certain protocols for that. We always have certain the criteria which has to be fulfilled so that we feel secure in terms of digital citizenship. And that's why we say that our digital footprints decides how the world is going to attack on us. It may be in terms of phishing, it may be in terms of cyberbullying, it may be in terms of cyber attacks, it can be anything out of that. Right. So looking at these things, I'll just take a brief review on how does the world looks like, or when we talk about the economy in terms of cyber securities, it always talks about even if whatever the economy is, how large the economy is, but still they face lots of problems in terms of cyber attacks or cyber securities. And as you can see, some of the figures are coming up here, that how in each day, each hour, each month, each seconds, how much people or how much money is it costing when you talk about the cyber security or cyber crimes that are happening all over the globes. When we talk about the cyber security, it refers to the technologies, it refers to the processes that is taking place or the practices that has been designed to protect the networks, devices, programs, and the data. But this, all of this is there, or when we talk about cybersecurity, it talks about how can we protect ourselves, or how can we take care of our own self with the attacking, the damage, or any unauthorized access. We see many of the time, and when we are very unaware of this kind of securities, we just ignore certain, sometimes we receive phishing mails also, but we never pay attention to them. But when we lose something, when we think about how the data is being affected, when our data is being compromised, that time we realize, oh, something has gone wrong, right? So it happens all over the world to every people in one or the other way. So these are the certain statistics that we could have seen over here, which talks about a recent year, that is by 2020, how the global security or global cyber security is going to face, or how many people are going to get affected with this, and how many people have already got affected with this. So this infographic always just helps us to understand that how much is the alertness required when we talk of cyber securities, how much initiatives or the that has to be taken from our side to protect our own data and our own details. This is something really interesting that I could find it out, and this says that how security, when we talk about how does it feels like, how does it shows us that we are actually secured, or it's just a false sense of security that we observe, or that we could only see when we are using the online platforms. It may be any of them. During the COVID, the the recent time, when we were facing lots of, when we were using lots of apps, when we were using lots of um, uh, online platforms, we have seen lots of frauds that are that were happening there, lots of insecurities that has been faced by n number of people. And this was one of the examples. This is one more example that comes up every time, even if we have not done the COVID test, or if we have not done anything related to COVID, still there was a fraud calls coming up there, and there were lots of things happening even that time. So these are the recent examples that I could have collected. Now, when we see into the cyber criminals, or when we see that why, who does this kind of crimes, or who is the experts, who is applying their brains. So as we can see here, it can be any of these people, though they are very experts in their field, but they are misusing their knowledge in terms of um, uh, technical aspects. And these are the people who are not only attacking our data, but they are just getting into our life digitally, and they are making misuse of our data to some extent, or maybe they are just trying to manipulate our data or compromise our data as well. Hackers, as we have with regard to criminals that we talk about, which hat do you want to wear when we talk about the cyber security? This is the area or criteria that we look into, that how the people or how the hackers are affecting our lives, how they are entering into our lives. So when we talk about the white hat, they are the people who protects, or who are actually doing it ethically or with regard to the criminal cyber security laws and all. But when we talk about red hat people, this helps us and give the idea that this are the people who are doing it illegally, or they are the criminals, or we can say cyber criminals who are misusing or trying to uh, uh, create an unauthorized access to the data of the people. We have seen this example, especially with the banking transactions and the OTPs and the fraud mails that comes up. So this are phishing mails generally that comes, right? So these are the things that actually happens when we talk about the hackers and all. Yes, talking about the place where I stay, that is in UAE. Again, we have lots of innovation strategies that has been created, lots of cybersecurity protections that has been created, and the awareness has been created among the citizens of UAE. And this has been actually inculcated into the curriculums also with the students, so that the young generations who is growing up and who is actually the digital generation, they are also protected, and they are taught that how they can be safe, or how they can protect themselves from being being hacked or from being getting cyberbullied at a certain age or at a certain point of time. This again is of infographics for the UA itself. As you can see over here, there were lots of cases happening for the phishing, ransomware, activism, anti-state, national state activities that were happening. So lots of figures have came up out that how even being the developed countries like UAE, how still they are facing such problems, and how they are facing the cybercrime experiences by the citizens of UAE. So when we talk about this things specifically, I'll just give one of the examples or two examples over here before I wind up. That we used to get calls from some of the people saying that I'm calling from so and so bank, and when we ask that, they will ask us that you have to submit your documents, you have to submit so and so things, and then when we ask them out, we get numbers and all, they will not reply to us on those things, and they start to send us the notice in the WhatsApp itself that okay, they are calling from the banks, or maybe they are calling from the cyber people, but actually they are the frauders. So that's what the experiences we also have faced here, though it's a developed country, but yes, this is the scenario that is taking place. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much on your great presentation. I always enjoy in your presentation. You make them great with a lot of statistics and visual. Today we know that this visual, like infographics, is very important. So for us to remember all the facts and figures, it is very important. So we talk about the cybersecurity. Amazing that we know that by 2022, the global cybersecurity is upwarding than 1.8 million. And also, what are the costs of the cybersecurity? They are more than 6 trillions. And what are doing the Microsoft, and what about the mobiles? So I adore a woman in this field. Great explanation of the threats, great explanation about all 5 types of the cyber criminal, what is happening in Dubai, what are the next step to do in this field. Great, amazing. Thank you, great, Chandani. Really impressive, very to me. Now again, from United Arabian Emirates, we are coming back to India. And we have an amazing person again. Great. Dr. Ikram, please stop that. You have 2 devices. Please, Dr. Ikram. Dr. Ikram, please, your device is double.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, but we hear in the background not a good, you have a noise. Please stop that. Dr. Iftiram, please, you have a noise. I think that you have a double device. I try to introduce you because you are here for the first time on the Global Educators Forum at IIU and here on this stage. And Dr. Ihtiram Raza Khan is a great academician, researcher, international speaker, and he is one of the members of my great IIU Research Centre. Welcome. Dr. Ihtiram, are you here with us? Again, please. I think that it is a problem with the network. Yes, we lost him. Yes, his internet is not good. He sent me a message. Okay, we will go. He will try again, but we will go to our next speaker. Then he will return again. He will try again. Great woman, amazing woman, entrepreneur, international speaker, digital media. You can see always how active she is like a woman. She's coming from Nigeria. She is a beautiful Miss Ijeoma Esther Nemandi. Welcome. Big, big clap.
Thank you so much. So good to see you once again, Professor Nada. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you to the entire team of IIU for organizing this global conference. My name is Ijoma Esther Nnamdi. I am from Nigeria. I'm a digital media entrepreneur, and this topic hits home.
Just a moment, please. I will mute some here. Okay, you can continue.
Okay, so I really appreciate this topic. I want to see if I can share my screen, please.
Okay, let's try. Yes, you can. Let's try.
Yes, I want to share my screen.
Our Professor Charles has he's amazing Nigerian members here with us in IIU, and so beautiful and smart Africa educators, entrepreneurs.
Okay, I'm so sorry it couldn't share. My system is down, so I wanted to share the screen from my phone, but unfortunately, it couldn't share. So I'll go straight away to do my presentation. Our topic for today is cybercrime, cyber laws, and cybersecurity. You know, the world has become a global village. Everyone is online. In Nigeria, we have over 108 million people using the internet. That's quite a number. And this has caused the increase in cybercrime. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime is any crime or fraudulent activity that happens in the cyberspace, on computers or in the internet. What is cyber laws? Cyber laws are regulations, laws that are put in place to ensure that there are no crimes committed in the cyberspace. And what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity are measures that are put in place to protect internet users, to protect people working on the cyberspace. That's a simple definition of term. And it will interest us to know that the first cybercrime happened in 1820. That's a lot of years ago. Like that's 1820, that's such a long time, which means cybercrime didn't start today. What we are discussing is not something that is just happening in the 21st century. It started many years ago. And the first spam email happened in 1978. These facts are verifiable. And the first virus was an Apple laptop, Apple computer rather, in 1982. So you can see that this issue is not something that is just happening recently. It's been there. It's been there over the years. So we are not discussing a fresh topic. We need people to know more about this. We need to create more enlightenment on this. Since we are in a global village and everyone uses the internet, so we need to know what are the categories of cybercrime. Cybercrime is divided into three categories. We have crime against people, we have crime against the government, and we have crime against properties. When we talk about crime against people, we are talking of issues like cyber stalking, cyber extortion, fraud, storing illegal information about people, or accessing illegal information about people. We also need to talk about internet child pornography. It is happening. And we have identity theft. We have illegal gambling. So all those things are crime against people. We also have the crime against government, which has to do with hacking into government computer systems. We have people introducing introducing viruses when they find out that the government has vulnerable networks. We also have website defacing and denial of service attacks. We also have terrorist attacks. So all these things are crime against the government. Now, what are the crime against properties? When we talk about this, we talk about intellectual property infringement. You see people on the internet post things, you see that this is someone else's intellectual work, someone else's creative work, but you post that information without referencing the person, without giving the person credit for his or her creativity. That's intellectual property infringement, and it's a crime. People do it on the daily. People take people's words, write about them on Facebook. Some even go as far as using them in their books. I am an author, and before I first published my work, I post a lot on Facebook. If you take time to go through my Facebook page, you will see that over the years, I've been on Facebook for the past 13 years. Over the years, I've made several posts. And it hurts when you see people use your posts, some on WhatsApp, some use it as a quote without referencing you. It just looks like you wasted your time giving out your intellectual property without it coming at a cost. That's a crime. And people do this on the daily without feeling guilty about it, because a lot of people don't even know it is wrong. We have copyright infringement. Some people lift materials from people's books without due referencing, without even contacting the author to say, I want to make use of a part of your work. Like, it's as simple as that. Prof. Sonada, if you have a wonderful work that you've done over the years and I want to reference your work, I need to call you, I need to reach out to you and say, this is what I want to do. Can we collaborate? Can we partner? Can I quote you? That is how the elites should behave. That is how educated people behave. But a lot of people don't even know this. They just lift someone's material from his or her book, go ahead to, develop it, turn it to their own without due referencing, and it is wrong. That is copyright infringement. We also have internet time theft. People steal people's internet time, Wi-Fi. People do a whole lot of things, have access to people's time, internet time, without going through the right process. We also have cyber vandalism and cyber spying. These are just the cyber crimes that you can do against properties. Another thing I want us to look at, especially I am representing Nigeria, so I'll be coming from the Nigerian perspective. Another thing I want us to look at is causes of cybercrime. To every effect, there is a cause. Nothing just happens. So what are the things that causes cybercrime in our society today? Like I said in my introduction, the first cybercrime happened in 1820, and it is still happening till today, and it will still happen tomorrow. So what is the root cause of this so that we can address it? One of the causes is the desire to make quick money. People don't want to go the rough routes. You know, people want to make money so fast that they jump the process, and this is wrong. When you make use of someone's intellectual property, you are not being creative. You are not using your time, you know, to do a creative work. So you want to go through the fast route, to use someone else's work and make money from him or her without going through the right channels. You know, this is wrong. And this get rich quick mentality is causing a lot of pandemonium in our society. A lot of young people, a lot of youths are not ready to work hard. A lot of people are not ready to work smart. They are not ready to be authentic, genuine, and original. They want to just do things the wrong way, so long as they have great financial rewards for it. And this is one of the causes of cyber crimes. The second one is inaccessibility to criminals. You know, this cyber crime happens on the internet, so it's not something that happens physically. So it might even be that you may not trace people that committed this crime. So it made it easy for a lot of people to go into it. You can imagine maybe someone in Nigeria, you know, putting his or her intellectual work out there, and someone in another country will lift it up, you know, do another work with it without you referencing. Like, it, you may not even know that someone is using your work. You understand? So this is one of the reasons people engage in cybercrime, inaccessibility to criminals. Another thing is the certified disappointed employees. You know, some people, when you employ people to work for you and you're not treating them the right way, it could make them go an extra mile to look out for ways to punish you as their employer. So these are just few of the reasons. I know I don't have all the time, so I'm trying to manage my time, okay? Yes. Thank you very much. So the next reason I want us to discuss is reasons why cyber laws are essential in Nigeria businesses. I'll be fast about this. The reasons why cyber laws are essential in Nigerian businesses. The first is it guarantees employee safety. If the cyber laws are in place and active, it guarantees employee safety. You know that you are safe. You know, it guarantees business protection. If the cyber laws are not in place, our businesses will not be protected. Another thing is personal data protection. The cyber laws are essential to Nigerian businesses because it guarantees personal data protection. And what are the areas of cyber law in Nigeria? We have the fraud, we have the copyright protection, we have defamation. You know, the world is a global village. Someone can just come, write anything, say anything about someone online. But because we have the cyber laws in place, there is a limit in as much as you have your freedom of speech, and as an individual, there is an extent to which you can exercise that freedom, because where your freedom ends is where another person's freedom starts. So you need to strike a balance. We also have cyber laws against stalking and harassment. We have cyber laws against trade secrets. We have cyber laws against patents and trademarks. If these cyber laws are not in place, some people will steal people's invention and term it their own. So patent helps you to protect your invention, and the trademark also help you to protect your trademark. So I believe I have done justice to this topic, especially from the Nigerian and African perspective. And I really want to appreciate the entire team of International Internship University India for putting up this global event and for inviting all of us as experts to, you know, delve and discuss this matter. It gives me so much joy, giving my own perspective and weighing on this issue at this time. Thank you so much once again, Professor Nada, for the time. Thank you.
To know each one word will be sufficient. You make all us you make an impressive speech. Professor Karudin is watching and he didn't clap with his eyes. Professor Karudin, please, do you have anything to say about this
I clapped,
amazing
Professor
topic?
Nada. I clapped, but I was
Yes.
I was muted. I'm sorry. I was watching and listening to every one of it, of the speakers. Excellent. What you call? I'm glad that I was invited to come and join this session. Although I'm not assisting you as moderator, or I'm not speaking.
No, I want to say because
everything.
you are a man. She is a woman, a strong woman, very empowered and amazing. And so, she's today her speech was, she is an expert. So,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
anything what I say about this, it is not enough. It is not really enough. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
my beautiful Ijaona from Nigeria.
Thank you, Esther. She's really an expert. She knows what she's talking about. She's on
Yes,
top of it.
yes,
Just to what Prof. Nada said.
yes, great, really great. Now from Nigeria, one recommendation, please, please, dear eminent expert speakers. We are running with the time, so we have a lot of speakers more. Please take care about the time because we have also after this very soon conference. So please take care. Now we are going from Nigeria to India. Also an amazing woman, and she is only 18 years old, but 18 years old with 18,000 strengths, fibers, and knowledge. Miss
Aisha Ruxana.
Roxana, yes, an educator, international speaker, ambassador of many global platforms, and I also adore to be with her, share share the stage like with you, Professor Karudin, and also adore to listen her. Welcome, my dear Aisana.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, Nazida, ma'am. It's so good to meet you all again. So I think I can share my screen right now.
Yes.
And go ahead.
Yes.
Great. I think it's visible.
Full screen.
Make it full screen. Full screen. Okay.
Great.
All right.
Great.
So unlike everyone, today I wanted to talk about a very interesting topic. That is, I just wanted to combine two of the interested topics. That is Blue Eyes technology along with cybersecurity. So Blue Eyes technology is a new era in artificial intelligence, and we are going to get it combined with cybersecurity so that we can make an place which is secure for each and everyone to use. So yeah, I'm just refreshing it. Okay, so we have the table of contents. First, we will see the introduction, then we have the purpose, and then the methodologies, use technologies, the hardware and software components, as well as the merits and demerits, and then we will run to the conclusion. So in the introduction part, we will just see what is the Blue Eyes technology is. So Blue Eyes technology is a technology that is conducted by the research of IBM at its Automated Research Center. So it was conducted by a research in 1997 at California. So a Blue Eyes technology is a technology that works on the principle of AI. So this specific technology is a combo of both hardware and software components. So what it does is actually it just tracks your eye movement for computing operations and your hands for feeling your presence. So it inevitably knows that if you are touching, then it's you. If another person are touching the entire screen, then it's them. So it clearly and drastically differentiates between people. And the term blue in the Blue Eyes technology refers to the Bluetooth, which enables a wireless and a reliable communication, while the eyes in the term refers to accessing interesting and important informations, which are guided by a set of GUI, which is graphical user interface, and this is used for presenting the psychological data. So when you ask me about the purpose, the purpose of the technology is to actually understand the humans via artificial intelligence and to help the humans secure everything by understanding their capabilities. So this specific technology actually understands and recognizes the human eye, face, fingerprint, and recognizes all the other virtues of the human body. So when it comes to machines, this blue eye technology actually enables the people to work with the machine and the humans like partners. And it allows the machine to design for complex problems, which inevitably doesn't allow any third party involvement, which also secures the cyber. So when we talk about the methodologies, we have this EEG methodology, so which is an electroencephalogram methodology. So this is a form of electrical activity that records the activity of your brains, in the form of emotions and by detecting the abnormalities in the brain. So it actually checks each and every aspect of a human, and it doesn't allow any third party to enter into it, which makes so sense that today we have been seeing a lot of cyber crimes, and with respect to those cyber crimes, it doesn't allow anyone to access your data apart from you. So you can see a clear graphical diagram of this EEG, which is electroencephalogram. And as you can see, it is a clear diagram which completely explains your mentology and your physical data. So this type of private informations can never be accessed by any person apart from you. So this in turn makes it so secure that implementing Blue Eyes technology along with artificial intelligence enables to create a space which is cyberly secured. So how will we link cybersecurity and AI? So when you talk about linking and in the ways that AI can help, the 5 ways in which AI can help are as follows. So the cyber crimes present are like in a major global perspective. And when you see these attacks grow in volume, and artificial intelligence not only supports under-resourced analyzed, but also provides a wide range of protection from malicious attacks. So here we have to look about a 5 type of protection that AI can help with. So the AI, along with the Blue Eyes technology, can protect the DNS data with AI. So this AI can fight the spam and phishing, and this can breach the risk protection along with AI. So this specific technology, when it is used with a Blue Eyes technology, it can identify the advanced malwares, and this type of AI is actually used in authenticity protection. So now we are into a main and important point, and that is about the use technologies. So when you talk about the use technologies, it is about for eyes, we use expression glass. For speech recognition, there is another type of technology used. For face recognition, there is another type of technology used. And for hands, there is emotion mouse. So why am I talking to you all about these use technologies? Because you have to understand the fact that using a blue eyes technology doesn't come with only merits. You will also have to understand the fact that it will come with demerits, but it will be the only savior for saving us from the cyber attacks. So for speech recognition, the client addresses the PC through mouthpiece and the short disk cursor that gets shifted and put away in the RAM. So this user, this uses the user's speech, grammar, voice type, noise level, and the position of microphones. So these all influence the feature of the speech recognition. And NLP, which is natural language processing, this has been used in this specific technology to enable a safe journey for the cyber attacks as well. So when you talk about expression classes, it is an alternative method for usually available machines we can all see and how easily they get attacked by. So it just analyzes the pattern recognition methods and the facial muscle variations, and these glass sensors are they are used as an identifier expressions. So the prototype that is used for this class is piezoelectric sensors, and as you can see, so when you are a person who can combine everything with AI, you indeed are leading to a space where you can be secured for the rest of the nature. And even if you can't be secured, you can learn the ways by which you can be saved in the future as well. So for face recognition, this enables the user to interact with the machine in a more compatible manner, and AI as well as facial recognition systems are used right here. So for hands, as we can see, an emotion mouse is used. So because, if someone might be using the keyboard aggressively by striking because of his anger, this blue eyes technology can allow the machines to spot these minor emotional differences even by a tap on in his or her mouse or keyboard. So when it can be this minute and detect a lot of abnormalities and control yourself monetarily, it can never allow a third person intervention into this. So this is how you can actually safeguard yourself from cyber attacks by implementing blue eyes technology. So the fifth is hardware and software components. So the hardware components, as you can see, are data acquisition unit and central system unit, along with microcontroller, which is ATMEL 896 SWI2. So this is how the hardware components work. So these are this pie diagram actually depicts how their hardware components engage with each other. And you can see, when it comes to data acquisition, the main task is actually, fetch the psychological information and the physiological information to sense the elements. So it doesn't allow any third party to actually interfere with your life and, detect the abnormalities. And when it comes to CSU, that is Central System Unit, this is the place where the module is interfaced to PC, and then which employs a parallel and serial USB cable. So this audio is accessible through standard mini jack sockets. So the program's operators personal ID cards were developed a simple programming device, but the computer program is interfaced to a computer victimization serial and PS by 2 power source ports. And when you can ask me about this very need point, that is how they link between data acquisition unit and central system unit, as I have already explained, here it is. So the ATMEL89C52 microcontroller along with JAS multi-sensor is linked via Bluetooth from data acquisition unit to the central system unit via the other Bluetooth, which also have the connection manager, visualization module, the data analysis, and the data logger. So the microcontroller, that is ATMEL89C52, is the heart of DAU, and the Bluetooth technologies provide communication for the both of these units. I don't have any time, I think. Yeah, so I'm just rushing out quickly. So these are the software components. So these software components continuously supervise the operator's physiological conditions. So this software helps to transfer the data or information from one data analyzer to the other, from the manager to the data analyzers, and it supports the module and a supervisor interface section. So, yeah. Okay, so this is the analyzed diagram, which you can note it down as well. And here are the merits and demerits. So when it comes to eye monitoring, it helps a lot. And high accuracy is also obtained by this. And there is information system, and it is super fast. So it never allows the other person to interfere with you. So it is very safe for you to use to get yourself protected from cyber attack. And when it comes to demerits, there are few other things that we need to use. So if God is going to give us a lot of goodness, there is going to be something that is going to come negative by the action that we are going to take up, right? So when it comes to the reliability of the system, it does fluctuate a lot. So it completely depends on how far you are using it in secular manner. So this is a secular platform, but everything depends on the way that you're using it. So it definitely distracts people, but it is, if you're going to ask me, out of 100%, how would you rate the reliability? It is going to be 80 to 90%, and the remaining 10% are up to your hand. And if you're going to use it in a right way, then it's going to be the reliable thing for you. And if not, then it's going to be the other way around. And here's the conclusion. So the Blue Eyes Technologies approach are like, they use an assured, convenient technique. So this simplifies life, and this simplifies lives in the manner that, you don't have this panicking sense in your heart that you are going to get attacked by a cyber crime person. So the day is very near that Blue Eyes technology will advance its way towards your household devices. And even this Blue Eyes will reach your handheld mobile devices. So stay tuned till then. And I really thank the entire organizing committee for organizing such a graceful event, which these many international speakers speaking right there. And I'm very honored that I have got the opportunity to talk here as well. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Gray Isaac. Thank you, Gray Isaac. As you said, an amazing speech and presentation. And I'm sure that so many people don't hear about this blue eyes and how you make this blue eyes like a technology which is conducting a research with the IBM and this whole model and this introduction and what is the purpose and how to understand the humans of this VI and how it is taking care about the machine and humans and how it is working, allowing the machines. ESC, the method, you explain us the methodology, you use this phenogram for the eyes, we see the expression glasses, for the hands, we had the emotion mouse. What about the requirements? You explain us the hardware, the software, the DIGs, the SCP, then whole central system unit to show us the software's component, the software's analysis diagrams, the merits, and all about the monitoring, not only merits, the merits, and an amazing conclusion. And I hope that you will continue and so many educators will be inspired with this topic and will continue with researching this because as you say, this day is very near, and this blue eye technology, and this is all. This will be advanced, and it will be reached on the hand by our mobile. Thank you. I can talk about this a lot. I adore this. So we need to go. We need to move. Thank you, Isaac. Now,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you. Now we are going from India to Russia. We have an amazing teacher, educator, also very she's in this she's very active in this field. She is our great Nadezhda Ivanova. Welcome, welcome, Professor Nadezhda. Enlighten us with your speech.
Just a second, I will switch on.
Yes, please. So
do you see my screen?
it is yes, we see.
Visible.
Great. Cyber safety.
Yes, cyber safety. Yes.
Great.
So, dear presenters, I'm really very humble to be to be presenting at this conference because beginning from the very first key speaker, I feel an amateur in the field or in the area of cyber safety and cyber security. What is more, I'm an ordinary English teacher, secondary school teacher, but this conference is very important for me as a teacher and a person because every now and then, whenever we have a topic to discuss cyber security and social networking, I always focus my students' attention on their safety. And that from today on, I have lots of new information, very crucial information to broaden my students' outlook and raise their awareness on cyber safety. So today you will just see my view on cyber safety as it was yesterday when I was preparing for the presentation. But today I have learned quite a lot more to talk on. So So I'm a teacher from a Russian school. I live in Siberia in the city of Krasnoyarsk. So my time zone is like Vietnam. It is 8 p.m. now, and I feel an Asian. So I'm an Microsoft expert and master trainer. I'm ambassador of different applications and social networks, educational networks. And I'm a fan, I'm keen on technologies. Since 2000, when I learned using the internet and the personal computer, I have been promoting technologies in my classroom and encouraging my students to use the internet for their personal and educational development. And every time I teach them about copyright, about against stealing others' properties. And these days, I'm very concerned about cyber safety and cybercrime. So, and here are my views, my knowledge about cybercrimes. So when I was preparing my report these days, I tried to attach this topic to any of the sustainable development goals. And I looked through all the descriptions and descriptors, and I didn't find, in my view, any clues. But today, at the beginning of the session, Professor Nada Ratkovich just focused on quality education. Yes, as a teacher, I see that technologies provide students access and inclusion to quality information and promote quality education. But when I was listening to all the presenters today, now I know, I'm sure that cyber crimes and cyber life penetrates all the areas beginning from hunger and healthy lifestyle, ending with partnerships. So every time and everywhere we can come across cyber crimes, and we should be aware of cybersecurity. So to begin with a quotation: just as drivers who share the road must also share responsibility for safety, we all now share the same global network. We are the global village. And thus we must regard computer security as a necessary social responsibility. So every person, every user, be it a professional or be it an amateur, is responsible for his and other people's social security on the internet. So here are some definitions of internet safety or cyber safety or social cyber security. So, and it focuses on raising users' awareness of personal safety on the internet and self-protection from computer crime. Everybody is responsible for his or her security. So here are some insights into cyber crimes. So cyber crimes involve computers, network, and may harm our security and even financial health. So there are lots of cyber crimes which have been mentioned today. And this is just a list of some of them which I got to know, like computer financial fraud, cyber terrorism, cyber extortion, threatening on websites. Then cyber sex trafficking and cyber war, warfare, or it is called hybrid war these days. So I enjoy listening to the news, and I know what hybrid war means. So, and one of the speakers mentioned that computers can be used as a target and as a tool in cyber crimes. So as a target of cyber crimes, computers are attacked by viruses, denial of service, or malware. So as a tool, computers are used even by individuals, not groups, and they are used to instill fraud, identity theft, information warfare, phishing or social engineering, spam, and scams. So you can also, we often can come through offensive content as well. So online harassment is another point when we talk about computer crime, cybercrime. So derogatory comments can imply cyberbullying, which is which is quite common among students. And every educator, every parent grown up should be aware of cyberbullying and protect students from these crimes. Online predators, cyber stalking, like the Blue Whale group, which I guess was not only active in Russia, but in other countries as well, which had very negative effects on young teenagers, encouraging them to commit suicides. And I learned about internet trolling as well. So drug trafficking is another point when we talk about cyber crimes. And today the so Professor Dr. Singh presented a lot on the ways to combat, to fight computer crime. So here are some just ideas. So yes, we should investigate. So special offices, specialists should investigate digital crimes. We should develop legislation. And of course, it is important that countries establish partnerships in fighting computer crimes or cyber crimes. And as a teacher, as a person, I focus on raising teenagers' awareness on cyber security. So when we talk about networks, social networking, we should keep in mind privacy matters. So we can talk about computer privacy when we control our private data on the PC and get to know who accesses this data. And we should also consider internet privacy, control the private data. We uncover on the internet many of the presenters focused on this today, because we should be very serious, very aware of the information especially teenagers, young people, the information they display on the internet in the societies, social networks, which can be used against us, which can be used for bullying and stalking and so on. So private information includes the sites we have visited, the records, pictures, the documents we have opened, emails, passwords which we have created, even bank accounts. So we should develop, we should protect our information with strong passwords. Again, I'm just saying one and the same things as the previous presenters, excuse me. So to sum up, I should say, again, a quotation, passwords are like underwear. You don't let people see it. You should change it very often. And you shouldn't share it with strangers. And the final quotation is about privacy. Privacy is not an option, and it shouldn't be the price we accept for just getting on the internet. So we should remember that whenever we are on the internet, we deserve privacy, but we are the first to be responsible for our privacy. So these are some resources used. And again, I would love to to express my greatest thanks to all the presenters, because I learned a lot myself today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Professor Nadezhda. Thank you for your great speech, for your great presentation. Yes, we learned today, as you said, a lot. That is why we are here, why we are sharing our knowledge, and especially in this specific topics, because people really need to have more knowledge from cyber law, cybersecurity. And yes, here our great speakers, eminent speakers, experts gave us a lot today. And thank you for always being with your amazing students. And
you.
I'm looking forward for a few days to have your amazing students
Yes,
and you
thank you.
on the SDG conference. So thank you. Now
Thank
we
you.
are moving forward. We have still two speakers. So I'm calling a great person, a great ambassador, Professor Simeon Peter Olesula Gelei, a president foundation from the WCZ Group LLC, founder of CEO, continuing professional development training and services. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Uh, I greet each and every one of us
Uh,
today.
Ambassador Simeon, I know you can lot to speak, so please take care about the time. You are amazing.
No
We will
problem.
have more opportunities.
No problem, man. I will be short today. So,
Okay.
good day, everyone. Good day, IIU. Good day, all speakers across the world. And good day, dear Professor Nada and Professor Manda. I appreciate the opportunity given unto me to be able to speak today as well in this wonderful international conference. I would like you to permit me to share my screen.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Then today we are discussing on a topic which says cyber crime and cyber law, cyber crime and cyber security. But today I am going to be discussing on cyber crime and cyber security. That's what I will be discussing on today, cyber crime and cyber security. My name is Professor Dr. Simeon Peter Olushola Gbeleyi, PhD Computer Science from Nigeria. I want to take us through a kind of introductory message before I come down to my conclusion. Firstly, technology has covered almost all facets of today's world. As we know, everybody knew that technology has covered everything from dusk to down. We are engaged digitally. So from smartphone at home to meet all our daily needs, to make a fund transfer, if you want to order or refill your groceries, everything is just a click away. So everybody loves to enjoy today's modern technology. In addition to that, a typical day at workplace as well involves dealing with connecting to intranet or internet servers. We can connect to internet servers, we can connect to intranet servers, either at the working place or at our offices. Then another one is at a relaxed weekend at the dine-in. We also involve the attendees taking customers' order through a tablet. Apart from that, customer will pay bills through credit and debit card. Apart from that, all these transactions, they involve accessing the internet. So that is the reason why it becomes so important for everyone to be aware of the risk involved in using digital data and its protection. So we all need to be aware that when you are using all this digital data, or you are accessing internet, you are doing everything at a click, you should know the risk involved. That's the essence of cyber security. As well, online applications these days too, they can be accessed through desktop, laptop, cell phone. All these applications are highly interconnected. All these online applications that we normally do, and everything is going online now, including universities, primary schools, secondary schools. If they want to apply, they go online. They go online. And all these applications are highly interconnected. and their ease of access makes them vulnerable. So the vulnerability is what we are here to discuss today. Then in addition to that, for instance, let's say using same cell phone, a user can update his status on the social media website. At the same time, the same user can transfer funds with the same phone online the next minute. With the same phone, he or she might also use the same cell phone to access personal identification details from government database. And at the same time, to top it off, he or she might use the same email account for registering in various banking, social networking, and other applications as well. This using the same phone or the same email account. And at the same time, a weak password to this account is a temptation for hackers if the password is not strong enough. Then in addition to that, by gaining access to this email account, the hackers, they might be able to access other applications that is linked with this email account that has weak password. So also a spam mail can be sent through this account to lure a user to disclose confidential information that might help the attacker to intrude into his or her banking application. So a vulnerable email account can make other applications vulnerable too. So all these things are exposing us to security threats. Then what is security? There is no such thing as absolute security. But I can define security as the quality or state of being secure. That's just it. As simple as that. The quality or state of being secure. So if you are secure or you are secured, then that is security. Then what do we mean by cyber security? And cyber security can be defined as simple as the protection of internet connected systems. When we are protecting internet connected systems, any system that is connected through internet, once we can find a protection to it, a befitting protection to it, then we are securing the cyberspace. So cybersecurity is the protection of internet connected systems, including the hardware, software, and data. From what? From cyber attacks. Once we can protect our interconnected system, our hardware, our software, and our data from cyber attacks, and that is what we mean by cyber security. Then I move forward. There is something under cyber security that we need to take note very well. There are three words which I call CIA. The three words are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. When we are talking of security, if you want to secure your software, you want to secure your hardware, you want to secure your data, you want to secure your interconnected devices. And what must be put in place? Number one is confidentiality. You must think about it. That means, and what do I mean by confidentiality? That is restrict access to authorized individuals. And anytime we are talking about cybersecurity, we must develop a particular restriction that will restrict access to authorized individuals alone, so that unauthorized individual will not be able to do us to penetrate or access our information, our data, and so on and so forth. Then the word integrity in cybersecurity has to do with data which has not been altered in an unauthorized manner. When we don't give room for data to be altered in an unauthorized manner, then we have given the data integrity. That is data integrity. Then availability is information can be accessed. When information can be accessed and modified by the authorized individual. There are sometimes you are even the author of your information and you have been blocked from accessing it. Even you yourself.
Professor Simeon, great, great. Please, can you come to the conclusion, please?
Okay, ma.
Please,
Okay,
please, because we need to start the event for a few minutes. So please, I know we will have more opportunities. You will share this again with us. So
yeah.
thank
And
you.
let me just move to the summary.
Yes,
So,
please.
the
Thank
last,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
So let me just move to the summary.
Great.
Then to summarize everything, what I'm saying in an essence is that businesses are increasingly leveraging new technologies such as mobile device, cloud to enable strategic initiatives and facilitate innovation. Although these initiatives provide many business benefits, but the new evolving technology landscape can also introduce substantial security risk that threaten sensitive corporate information. So the security triad is what I call confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If we can put the three security triads in place, then our information will be safe from cyber attack. I think with this, I've been able to discuss better on this topic for today. And I'm saying thank you very much, IIU. I'm saying thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations to be chosen like our great education ambassador. Big, big clap to you. You are so great. Keep doing wonderful work. So, what to say at the end? Amazing event, a unique event, a great topic, great eminent speakers, global conference on cyber law, cybercrime, and cybersecurity. The 12th GEF event for all educators around the world, organized jointly by Global Educators Forum, International Internship University, IIU Research Centre, the Policy Times, and World Education Council. First and foremost, I want to thank to our great Professor Pradipta for doing and giving us these amazing topics. No words to express our gratitude to great speakers, eminent speakers. All of you today were very amazing. What to say? We will continue with doing this great conferences, these great webinars, these great summits, because you see that we have so many experts from the different fields. So at the end, once again, my message today is end racism, build a peace in heart, peace in world. Stay safe, stay healthy till our next event. Bye bye to all.